Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Harris and today I present to you this Audi S3. I bought this car from Calvin's Car Diary and I'll be honest, it is broken. It's got quite a few issues and my mission is to fix all of them. So let me take you around the car and show you what's wrong with it.
I'm in a burger house tracking with some garden gloves. With two man up in a Lambo truck. Cali my spliff and I'm waved as fuck. I don't give a shit if I write this off. Don't give a fuck if I crash this. I'm flying around town with a bad bitch. She got her bags and nails all matching.
So for those of you that don't know, obviously this is an Audi S3. It's not any S3, it's a facelift of the 8V. So what does that mean? You get a different front end, so you get different lights and a different bonnet, bumper, grille, some additional features like radar guided cruise control. None of it is standard on this car. Every tiny thing, including heated seats, is an option. The wheels are the upgraded optional diamond cut rims, but someone sprayed them black and they need a refurb. The stone chips at the front is something I'm looking to fix as well. I've got some touch-up paint. I've also bought all the kit that I need to polish the entire car because there's some small scratches around it. The car is running a stage 3 map from South Tunings. What does that mean? It means it's running a Garrett Power Max turbo, a full decat system up to the mid resonator. Then it's got a full intake, it's got the Wagner intercooler. Spec wise, it's pretty good. It's not the best. Obviously, it's not got the pan roof. It's not got the digital dash, but what it does have is extended leather, radar guided cruise control, heated seats, mag rides, and a few other bits. The wheels are also an option. At the front, we've got the DRLs. I'm not sure if it turns on with the key, but you've got the nice kind of pulsating indicators as well. So folding, auto fold mirrors, another option. Let's show them inside as well. We've got some nice red brake calipers with the S on there. Inside, it's Audi as usual, you know, top condition, leather everywhere. Let me put the key in the ignition and show them the little pop-up screen. Another option I forgot to mention, Apple CarPlay. That's just the Audi map on there, standard map. The red rings around the vents as well, I believe they're an option because usually they're silver. Electric seats, you know, a really nice place to be. Coming from my old shape S3, it is quite an upgrade. You know, if you're thinking of going for an 8P or an 8V, my 8P, because it's got the coilovers, it's fully built, you know, high performance car, it is the better driving car, but as the overall package, you know, you can't really beat this car. I think it's so well built, it looks amazing, and if I was choosing between a pre-facelift or a facelift of the 8V, I'd go for the facelift every time because you've got the 7-speed gearbox, which is much more reliable, much quicker, much smoother. It's just better in every way. This particular car, as I mentioned, has got some issues. So when I first bought it, I'll put in the clips now. Shit, it's loud. It was extremely loud, and when I say extremely loud, it just didn't sound right. That's because it had an exhaust leak, which I didn't realise at the time. I thought it had a full exhaust system, which was why it was so loud. But it wasn't running right either. The idle just sounded funny. So immediately in my mind, I thought, okay, I'm going to fully service the car. So on the weekend, I changed the oil filter, did the spark plugs. So I've put NGK Racing 8-9 spark plugs in there, which is what you need for a stage 3 setup. The previous owner opted for standard NGK plugs, and they're just not right for the car. Now that I've done all that and also fixed the exhaust leak, it's a completely different car. You know, it's much more civilized, it feels a bit quicker as well, the power delivery is smoother. So at the rear of the car, we've got the 4 tailpipes, standard Audi business. We've got the upgraded rated, come with all the facelift models. Something that I do think is a bit cheesy is the full black tints all around the car. Black wheels, jet black tints. I can kind of get a picture of what the previous owner was like. Maybe a pharmaceutical distributor, should we call him. Not my taste personally. I do like tints, but the front ones, they're just not legal. Not something I would pay for. But overall, it's a nice car. The 4 exhausts at the back is standard, you know, standard back box, standard mid box. It's just the decat that's different. Boot space wise, I'm not going to open the boot. It's just a normal A3 boot. Apparently there's 50 litres space. But if you are thinking of buying an Audi S3, I would say go for the facelift, go for the 5-door, and you can use it as a family car, you can use it as a sports car, you can use it as everything. This car is probably the best all-rounder you can buy. I used to say that the Golf R was, but the interior in this is just leagues above. Even if I take you into the rear seats, you know, you've got full leather on the rear door cards, you've got the aluminium strip here. I don't think there's rear heated seats on this, but you can see there's plenty of space. You know, you can get 2 adults or maybe even 3 adults in there quite easily. Price wise, these retail, this car with this reg, put it in, it says 17.5. You know, realistically, for a facelift, you're looking at between 15 and 20 grand. So anything between that, depending on spec. Obviously, if you've got a full spec car, it's going to be worth more. If you've got something with less spec, it's going to be towards that 15 mark. But at the end of the day, it's preference. If you want something with a different colour, there's loads on the market, you can decide what you want. Right, so we're going to take the S3 for a little drive, see what it can do. Got it in efficiency at the moment, we're going to put it in dynamic. When you put this car in dynamic, the steering gets heavier, and because it's got mag ride, which is the magnetic suspension, which controls the level of comfort, the suspension also becomes harder. So, you know, should theoretically be a more balanced car with that setting. So we're going to stick it in there. I feel like the mapping for the engine also changes in terms of throttle response. So we'll see how that feels. The gearbox is in the sport setting when you shift it in, so you've got quicker shifts, of course. We're going uphill right now, so we'll just put it. Yeah, you can see it makes some quite nice sounds. This car does have pops and bangs, which is not for everyone. It's definitely not something I would usually go for, but it suits the character of the car, and it's not so in your face. Like, if you want it to, it will, but you can get it to shut up. Like right now, it's fine. I come off throttle, it's fine. It's only when you downshift and force it to, which is when, you know, it becomes a bit of a menace, shall we say. Now, how does it feel in terms of driving dynamics? Beyond the power, the steering's lovely. Steering has a nice weight to it. It feels really natural. The throttle input, lovely. You know, cabin quality, obviously we've already spoken about. When you turn in, the initial turn in, it's got enough kind of bite to get you into the corner, but it does occasionally push wide. When I say push wide, yeah, understeer. It does understeer a tiny bit, but it's not so bad that you hate driving the car. You know, it didn't understeer anywhere on the way here when I was driving it a bit quickly. But on a long sweeping bend on full throttle, you are going to get some push. You do get some tyre squeal. On my other S3, you don't get that at all because it's got 1.5 degrees of camber. It's also nicely lowered. This is completely standard suspension, and it's on the Bridgestone tyres that come with the S3 from factory. So they're not the best tyres in the world. They're not Michelin PS4s. They do the job, but it turns in nicely. We'll put the window down a little bit. I feel bad. We're in like a little village, but yeah, it's quick. There's no doubt about that. I don't even need to talk about the power. Like, 450 horsepower is what it says. It feels more like 400 to me. You know, maybe it's just the mapping's progressive or something. I'm not sure, but it feels like 400 to me. I have raced a brand new 8Y S3. He said it was stage 1, running over 400 horsepower, because they can do that. I don't know how. They've got the bigger Continental turbo on them, so it runs over 400 horsepower, and I walked away from him. So maybe 450 is correct, who knows. It just feels quite tame for 450 in my opinion, but the way the speedo climbs up is ridiculous. We're getting up to a wider section now, so that, fourth gear, yeah, there is a noticeable pickup in torque in fourth gear. Maybe it's got some type of boost by gear mapping, who knows. That wouldn't really make sense on a four-wheel drive car, but you never know. Okay, so we're up to a wider section of roads. National speed limit can stretch its legs a bit more. The gearbox software stage 3 from South Tunings as well. Brakes are incredibly sharp. They inspire a lot of confidence. The gearbox is so intuitive. You know, a manual, you have full control, but I don't feel shortchanged by this gearbox at all. Shift, because that is ridiculous, that sound. But yeah, in terms of the driving dynamics, the overall package, I think is untouchable. You know, I'm not sure you can buy a car that offers everything for this price. You know, between 15 and 20,000. It's not the most, you know, engaging car. It's not the most comfortable car. It might not be the best at everything. But name me another car that can get 40 mpg, do 180 miles an hour, be quiet inside, comfortable, good looking, reliable. You know, what other car offers that? I'm not too sure. And the modern interior, well built. There's a lot of cars that come close. You know, four-wheel drive as well, so you've got that security, you've got the stability. I don't think this handles anywhere near as bad as people say they do. I think people are quite unfair to Audi S3s because of what they hear online and because of what they see on TikTok or YouTube. I'm here to tell you that not all of that is true. If you want a track car, if you want a car that you're going to take to the Nürburgring, go and buy a Megane RS. This actually handles better than an M140 out of the box in terms of the way you steer the car and you feel the body just wants to turn in, wants to follow you. It's not the most adjustable on the limit, so you're not going to get the back end out unless you're really, really hammering and taking the absolute mick out of the car. Then maybe you will. But I've put the suspension in comfort and it's completely changed the ride. I'm going to stick it back in dynamic, and immediately the ride just becomes firmer, it feels more tight. So it transforms the actual experience just from the flick of a button. And it just feels, I don't want to say painfully fast, but it is fast. Like, it is making me feel a bit sick, the way this pulls. And for some people that would be enough. They would put their foot down, feel the driving experience, feel the acceleration and just buy the car. I'm not sure what else to say about it. Common faults. The water pumps fail, and by fail I mean they leak. So the water pumps leak, you're looking at an £800 bill to fix it. Haldex pumps, they fail, cost me £150 on my last one. The only reason that happens is because people don't service their Haldex correctly, or they don't service it at all. It's very cheap to actually service the Haldex. There's one nut at the bottom and one at the top. You undo both, you fill from the top, and that's it. You know, you change the oil, you can change the filter for it. The DSGs, I believe they say every 40,000 miles they need a service. I'm not sure if they have an oil system in there, I've got no idea, but they need a service as well. And people forget, they only service the engine and forget about everything else. But yeah, I'm not sure what else to say about the car. It just offers everything. We'll do one more lap just around there. What a machine. I'm trying not to drive it like your typical S3 driver, but it's hard not to because you feel so stable, you feel so secure that you can just push and hammer the car to such an extreme level without it even breaking a sweat. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like you should be allowed to. This car feels illegal to me. How they're selling this to the public and allowing someone like me who's made very little effort in that driving while going so fast is ridiculous. In my other cars, even in my old S3, you have to think about, you know, what you're doing. Here, you just put your foot down and you're gone. You turn around the bend, look, full throttle around the bend. You don't have to think about it. That is quite appealing. I'm not going to say the car's bad for that, a lot of other people will turn around and say, oh, the car's boring because you can push it to such an extreme level. But I'll actually praise the car for that, because it does take an extreme amount of engineering and an extreme amount of money and R&D spent on the car to be able to do that. It's ridiculous. I think if you want a car that does everything, just buy this. End of video. Simple.